Take yourself back to June 2020. We were wrestling with the pandemic, of course, but more importantly, our entire nation was searching for its soul in the wake of George Floyd's death. And then there was this.
Beyonce released a new single this past Friday on Juneteenth, and it's called Black Parade. The lyrics, let me tell you, wow.
With references to Yoruban deities like Oshun and Yamaya, it was clear that
Beyonce is pushing way more than Black Lives Matter ideology here.
Some people celebrated it, seeing it as overturning 400 years of repression of the Yoruban faith.
This makes me feel black as hell!
Slaves brought the Yoruban faith over from Africa, but in the New World, their beliefs were labeled satanic, demonic, and primitive, and driven underground.
But Beyonce was outright like, oh, Sean, yeah, my ya. You heard me? Yeah, my ya. It was just nice hearing someone just being upfront with it and not trying to hide it.
But not everybody was happy with the song, including many in the Black community, Black Christians in particular.
Beyonce, I'm so disappointed in you, honey. Using your influence to associate authentic Blackness with magic is just wrong. Why do I need witchcraft or African spirituality to feel Black when Christianity is equally as Black?
But this is not just about Beyonce. Beyonce is just one of millions finding strength and meaning in the Yoruban religion. By some counts, this is the 6th largest religion in the world, with as many as 100 million followers.
Growing numbers of African American women in Maryland and across the nation are leaving traditional church worship.
They are college-educated professional women who've chosen to believe that theirs is a truer example of worship.
I think you probably know this by now, but for me, all religions are inherently interesting. I love looking at the ideas that animate people and bring meaning to their lives. But the Yoruban religion is especially rich and full of wonders. I've only tapped the surface of the songs, the stories, chants, poems, and wisdom, and I am continually blown away by the richness of the tradition. In all of the religions I study, I always have this little voice in the back of my head saying, you know, they might be right. And when I study the Yoruba, I sometimes hear that voice just getting louder and louder. It's just that compelling and interesting. So what is it? Well, we could start with the Orishas. Ori meaning consciousness, Sha meaning protector. Different traditions have a different total number. Some have only 7, others have 401, some have 601, and some have 3,200. Regardless of the tradition, each Orisha is associated with some element of nature and has multiple associations with colors, stones, trees, emotions, major life events, basically everything in nature. As Stephen Prothero says so beautifully, they provide a map to every mountain and valley of human experience. And every moment and every space is permeated with spiritual power. Oludumare is the high god, whose name literally means the source of all creation that does not become empty. Awesome, I love that. He is omnipotent, transcendent, all-knowing, both good and evil, and as the source of energy, more like they, beyond all gender, and he's really beyond all human form. So Oludumare might be better imagined as something like this. But he did not create our world. There are several creation stories. In one of these, Oludumare needed to call upon the creative powers of Oshun, the river goddess, Orisha of sex, love, and fertility. And with the power of water, the rivers, she brought life into the world. But like the water, the life was formless. So it was left to Obatala to mold humans out of the earth. Now this was great, but the humans complained. They said, there is nothing that is unequal among us. We are all the same language, same possessions. There is no variety in anything in our lives. Why are we all the same? So hearing this, Oludumare called on Eshu, the trickster, to make life more interesting. Eshu put on his special hat, red on one side, black on the other, that made him appear like a man dressed in red from one side and a man dressed in black on the other. Walking right in between people, the people on either side of him started arguing about who he was and what they were seeing. And this is the origin of all the multitude of differences we see today. One of the most interesting things about the Yoruban religion is that while many religions focus on the afterlife, it's really the pre-life that matters the most here. It's probably my favorite part of the Yoruban religion. So I really geeked out on this and I made this really elaborate PowerPoint I'm going to show you. It's actually not just a PowerPoint, it's a full-on animation that I made in PowerPoint, which was pretty crazy. But I just really wanted to help you dive in and understand the Yoruban view of life and death, and the pre-life and the afterlife. So, here's how it goes. Before you enter the world, your Ori, your divine spirit, comes before this trinity of Orishas. Along with Olodumare and Eshu is Arunmila, the god of wisdom and destiny. He is Eshu's opposite. He represents order, wisdom, and peace, while Eshu represents chaos, action, and power. Isn't this just the most awesome trinity? So when you come before the trinity, Olodumare will breathe life into you. Then you choose your destiny, your personality, your purpose, and even the day you will die. If you've ever seen the movie Soul, it's kind of like that. There's a pre-life of souls figuring out who they will be and looking for their spark. And though the creators of the movie have never said so, I think it's likely that they are borrowing quite a bit from the Yoruban tradition here. So once you get your spark, your purpose, you start your life. Your Ori carries your destiny and your true life's purpose from the moment you are born. But we lose touch with our Ori and lose our spark. We get distracted by the demands of our day-to-day lives and lose our true purpose. The world around us is awash with spiritual power, and not all of it is good. Ajogun, these malevolent spirits, threaten us at every moment. The Orishas are all around us, in the water, the rocks, and in the heavens. They can help protect us, and more importantly, help us recover our destiny and true life's purpose. But somehow, we have to connect to them. So to connect to the Orishas, you can go to the Babalawo, a Yoruban priest or diviner who is a master of the Ifa tradition. The Babalawo begins by addressing your Ori directly and says, "You know the mystery." He then turns to his divining tray, which embodies the wisdom of Arunmila and the Orishas, and says, "You know the mystery." And then he says with awesome humility, "I know nothing." Because he's really just a medium. So using pine nuts or another divining device, one of 256 signatures is revealed. He then recounts the Odu that's associated with that signature. The Odu are these chants, songs, poems, and stories. The full collection of Odu is 4 times the size of the Bible, so this is a massive corpus. The Babalawo will recount at least 4 Odu, but it's ultimately up to you to decide which story or chant matters and why. They have this wonderful saying that the Ori is the greatest Orisha. Through divination, worship, and meditative veneration, you can reconnect with your Ori, find your spark, recover your destiny, and start living true to your life's true purpose. The powers of the universe will start to align in your... When you die, you do it all over again. Like Buddhism, they affirm the idea of reincarnation. And there are a lot of interesting parallels here with Buddhism. Not only do they both believe in reincarnation, but in Buddhism, we are constantly reincarnated onto the wheel of life that is full of suffering. Buddha points the way out through his 8-fold path of perfecting our souls through meditation and mindfulness to reach nirvana, a state of oneness with the creative energies of the world. In the same way, some Yoruban claim that we can eventually become one in spirit with Olodumare, the source of all creation. But also like Buddhism, most people don't have such lofty goals in their day-to-day life. Instead, they come to the Babalawo for practical matters. They want better health, more love, or just some more money. They are not aiming for the afterlife, they're just trying to live their best life here and now. And this rich world of meaning, where spirits and the power of Ashe are all around, is the very fabric of their lives. So let's look at some spiritual battlegrounds. It is of cosmic proportions. On the one hand, we have Christian leaders who are fearing for their souls and want to save them. On the other are millions of Africans who are fighting to hold on to their... recommend that a gift be given to your Orisha. So if you're trying to connect with Obatala, whose color is white, he might recommend a white chicken. But to deliver the gift, you need the help of Eshu. So you'll also need to throw in a bit of tobacco for him as well.
A portion is offered to Eshu, the male counterpart of Oshun, and placed in a secret place beneath the stairs of this Odendan home.
This is sometimes called sacrifice.
11 people were charged with cruelty to livestock animals after Bexar County deputies were called out to a ritual involving animal sacrifices.
You know, the only one that can complain about cruelty to animals is a vegan because, you know, we're killing animals.
The group sacrificed a goat, 3 roosters, a pigeon, and some chickens, and had other animals ready. After ceremonies like this, Talamantes said they'd cut the sacrificed animals up to cook up and eat in a ceremonial meal. They say some of that was already happening. The mistake in their eyes wasn't the sacrifices. It was leaving the garage door open for the neighborhood to see.
I don't know, it just kind of has like this bad tinge to it, so just think of it as a gift to the Orisha. Today, many Yoruba are establishing houses of worship that look a lot like a Christian church. They listen to sermons, they pray, and they sing songs that celebrate their culture and identity. They also do dances that call forth the powers of the Orisha.
The special IFA dance steps with delightful variations are executed to the traditional IFA music. The songs in the special IFA tunes and melodies treat various subjects in praise of IFA, gratitude for blessings, demand for favors, the joy of being a devotee, and assurance of continuity.
This is a form of spirit possession, and combined with the animal sacrifices, many Christian leaders see these rituals and ideas as demonic and satanic.
The fact that young people are moving towards traditional African spirituality and leaving the church, why are you concerned about this?
These people, they ought not to go back to what they have left or what their fathers have left.
In the name of Jesus!
Christianity brought a clear civilization, spiritually and physically. African spirituality is the same as Satanism or demonism.
But the people they're leading, the people in their congregations, often still see these diviners and practice at least some aspects of Yoruban religion.
Pastor ni mo discharge ní yàrá tó wà nsàlẹ̀ ọmọ pastor bó ṣe sá fún wa náà tí ọ̀nà bá ti dé bá wọn sábọ̀ lọ́dọ̀ wa.
This is one of many spiritual battlegrounds in the world, and like all spiritual battlegrounds, it is of cosmic proportions. On the one hand, we have Christian leaders who are fearing for their souls and want to save them. On the other are millions of Africans who are fighting to hold on to their traditions.
The cultural heritage being displayed here is very, very encouraging. It reminds me about our ancestors, the things that was left behind for us. But the Christianity wants to destroy it.
From its origins in West Africa, this faith survived the Middle Passage, and it is being adopted and adapted by some Black Americans who find within it strength, power, and meaning.
To learn about our history and learn about traditions that put us on a pedestal, and I see people so quick to demonize it. It worries me for the future of, you know, our people as a whole in the world.
I do call myself Oshun the Great in honor of Oshun, and I dye my hair in honor of Oshun.
You could tap into her energy because we could easily tap into different Orisha's energies.
I'm going to be speaking about Oshun and how she could actually help balance our solar plexus.
I hope you enjoy learning about the Yoruban tradition as much as I have. It's just one more window into another way of seeing and being in the world, and it is...
Alright, so I originally found a real witch through eBay, and I know it sounds weird, but I'm really glad that I did, because I purchased a money spell, and with that spell I was able to just find money randomly in the best places where I noticed them before everybody else, and I was able to snatch it up. And with that, I've collected a couple $100 recently in the last couple of weeks, just finding money. So awesome. And I've actually won scratchers, you know, the ones that people will barely win their money back on. Well, I got $3,000 off of it, so I'm so excited. And now instead of finding them on eBay, I go over to therealwitches.com. So check them out for yourself. All right, bye. Alright, so I originally found a real witch through eBay, and I know it sounds weird, but I'm really glad that I did because I purchased a money spell.